Hungary as a new EU president. And our economics editor, David Tweed, joins us live now from the capital, bringing us the latest on this. And David, we've just been talking about Europe's debt problems, a tough time for Hungary to be taken over the presidency. Is it up to the challenge?
It's going to be a big challenge indeed, Maryam. Here in the gilded splendour of the Parliament right on the banks of the River Danube in Budapest, there was an elaborate ceremony last night where we saw the transfer of that rotating European Union presidency from Belgium to Hungary. And of course it comes at a critical time because Hungary is going to actually have to help negotiate those changes to the EU treaty in order to introduce the permanent crisis mechanism. And this is coming at a time when Hungary is receiving unprecedented criticism for its domestic products from inside the country, but also from abroad.
Hungarians love to soak in the thermal baths littered across Budapest, the nation's capital. But the water is getting a little hot for this 7-month-old government that just assumed the European Union's 6-month presidency.
A crisis tax that weighs on foreign companies, a new media law that could curtail freedom of the press and moves to undermine central bank independence. These have all come under criticism from outside and inside the country.
For a country that needed IMF assistance 2 years ago, that may weigh on investors.
They're obviously going to have a negative reaction because they face huge institutional uncertainty. They just don't know how the system is going to look like. Perfect example is the crisis tax. For this, initially they were proposed only for 2 years. Later on the government extended the period.
So how is that uncertainty likely to affect the economy?
I mean, we need foreign money, so if we don't get foreign money, we're not going to have investment, and it's going to hurt economic growth.
Prime Minister Viktor Orban says the taxes are needed to plug the budget deficit and refutes the charges about the media law. Investors are still worried. Fitch and Moody's downgraded Hungary's credit rating to one level above non-investment grade, or junk, last month. And the currency's fallen against the euro and the Swiss franc. That matters when foreign currency loans amount to 72% of household credit. Like many Hungarians, Uliana Knevel took out a Swiss franc-denominated loan in 2007.
After interest rates rose and the forint fell, my repayments reached my monthly income. So I asked for a grace period from the bank, which runs out in March. We're worried the steps taken by the government will scare away foreign investors and the forint franc rate will worsen and we'll get into deeper trouble.
For now, Hungarians are waiting for February when the government plans to announce new structural reforms that may cool investor concerns.
All right, so David, how has President Orban been reacting to all this criticism?
Well, he's not going to be cowed. I mean, yesterday he told the French to get back to reality with their criticisms about the media law, but there's still a lot of concern within the country as well. This is the front page of the New Year edition of one of the biggest selling dailies here in Hungary. It says, "The freedom of the press ends today." Still a big concern, but the Prime Minister said yesterday the media law follows very much in the footsteps of other media laws throughout the European Union, and they'll only make a change if we see other media laws made, changes made to other media laws within the European Union as well. So no changes on the agenda there. And as for the tax, which some companies, 13 companies actually, say discriminates against them, he says that's absolute nonsense. The message we get from the Prime Minister here is he remains defiant.